Right now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to outline like a boss. This is not your normal outline you normally do. This outline is going to help you back contract consistently. It's going to help you avoid writer's block, and it's going to help you set your paths in writing that you'll be so good at writing. Your novels will just go seamlessly because you actually learn from the right person. All right, let me show you my messy first draft. This is my messy first draft. If you haven't gotten yours, I know say you should use Google Docs. Get your messy first draft. The phone these days are so distracting. So I would suggest you get a notepad like this. But if you have a notebook, you tend to go back to it, check it upon from time to time to know what you're doing. Just stay tuned and watch the screen. Right now, we're gonna read this first line. I wrote down here, I said, master these hooks for your story. I said, note, ask yourself the right questions. Hook really is the internal conflict. And all the internal conflict really is the desire versus fear. What are the characters' desire versus the fear? Now, I'm going to explain this. Do you get me? I'm going to explain this first of all. Before you say you want to start writing any novel, any book, ask yourself, what is the internal conflict? Coach Victor is telling you right now, before you even come up with the plot, ask yourself, what is the internal conflict? This is something Disney writers normally do, and they get people to watch their series, watch their movies, watch their episodes without even clicking away. How many of you have watched Moana? How many of you have watched Cinderella? How many of you have watched Beauty and the Beast? Those cartoons, those stories that, those children movies that were trending before during our time. I don't know that during our time. Like, it's still trending. Moana is still trending. Disney Junior programs, movies are still trending. They understand something, which is the internal conflict. They bring up the internal conflict on time. It's the internal conflict that is going to make your readers and your listeners scared. What the Coach Victor said today, the first thing I've said is, what is your internal conflict? Take note of it. What is the internal conflict? It's the internal conflict that will make us scared. For example, how many of you have, for example, you're watching Moana now. You find that the first scene made us to understand that she has something connected to do with the ocean. And now, she strongly wants to go and find out that stuff inside the ocean. So now, you find out that we are now going to start caring for Moana because we are interested in her internal conflicts. Do you get me? Okay, I'll proceed so you understand better. Now, the next thing is, the plot is the feast. Your plot is the feast. The internal conflict is the punch. Do you get me? The plot of your story is like your feast. But without the internal conflict, the story is not going to progress. The story is not going to go into motion. We're not going to care. We're not going to relate with it. Internal conflict is the only thing that makes your characters relatable to everyone. Cinderella was lived with in a place where she was maltreated. This is relatable. That's the internal conflict that was there at that particular time. I don't know if those people that have watched Cinderella movie or whatever. So I wrote down here, I said, protagonist's internal conflict begins long before the inciting incident shows up to destroy their lives. I'm going to show you examples. Just stick to the end. We care about the characters. We, the readers, need to know why the internal conflict matter to the protagonist. Who is the protagonist? The main character. The main character in your novel. The protagonist is the main, like the central theme, the central person in your novel, that all other stuff revolve around that person, which is the protagonist. Do you get me? So you need to sit down, tell yourself, this is your character. How does this internal conflict matter to this character? I'm going to explain, just stay with me. You ask yourself, this is my book I want to write. Okay, now I've gotten the internal conflict of this my character. How does this conflict now that I've gotten matter to this my character Lillian, matter to this my character Obi, matter to this my character Aurora, name it. How does it matter? Now you now need to put the 5 minutes hook into consideration. What is the 5 minutes hook? Is this 5 minutes hook that is going to drag your listeners, drag your readers into your novel? Let me show you something. I wrote down here, I said it is okay to include flashbacks and backstories to build these internal conflicts. Do you get me? But let me show you something. How can I show my readers that these internal conflicts matter? This should be your priority. How can you show your readers that this your internal conflict matter? Note, in your hook, that's your first chapter, focus on who this story is about. Why what's happening to them matter to them? How does the thing that is happening around them matter to them in the story? Think about it. Do not focus on what's happening, e.g., external events. Do not focus on the character, where the world the character is living. See this word, WORD. Do not focus on it. Don't do this right at a go, but later. Stop wasting time telling us about they lived in a diamond castle, they lived in a palace, they were doing a 9 to 5 job, the world around them, they live in Los Angeles. You're focusing on the external event only. No, tell us about why this story is. What is this story about? It's about Lillian. What is Lillian's internal conflict? How does it matter to Lillian? Do you get me? This is what should be in your outline. The first thing you need to know: who is your character? Why? What is the story all about? Why? What is their internal conflict, and why what's happening to them right now matter to them? How does the thing happening to your character right now matter to them? Stick to the end. There is a lot for me to talk about right now. All right. Now, the next thing you need to know: note, your hook can be an external event, but you need to quickly show the reader why it matters to the character. Are you with me? Now, your hook, that's your first line, that's the hook of your story, can be an external event happening, but you need to tell us, how is this thing connected to my protagonist? How does it matter to my character? Take the time to develop your characters before your plot sets in. You don't want your readers thinking, how would I feel if that was me? As much as you want them thinking that, instead you should make them think this way: how would I feel if I was them? Do you get me? Take your time to develop your characters before your plot sets in. I'm going to show you examples. Avoid world building until it matters to the character. Do you get me? Nobody cares about the world in which your character is living. However unique it is, we don't care. What matters to us is understanding why this world matters to our character, which is the protagonist. This is your world now you're trying to talk about. We don't care about it. Instead, we care about how does it matter, how does it contribute to our protagonists, our characters. Lastly, you want to ask yourself this question. When I say lastly, more juicy tips are still coming for those people that will keep watching till this point and are jotting vigorously. You're gonna get massive value. Hope you're with your jotters. Open your ears. This is what I call outlining like a boss. Lastly, you want to ask yourself this question: what does my protagonist think will bring her true happiness or contentment, and how is her fear stopping her from going after it? Ask yourself, what does my protagonist think will bring her true happiness or contentment, and how is her fear stopping her from getting or going after it? Do you get me? So now, I'm going to show you an example. Just stick to the end. All right, keep watching. Number 2, I wrote down here, I said, what my characters misbelieve, and what and what happened in the past to create this misbelief. Number 3, how can I show my audience in the first minutes why what's happening matters to my protagonist, given their desire, fear, and misbelief. Do you see something now? Coach Victor said point 1 is what? Have an internal conflict. What is the internal conflict of your character? Point 2, how does this internal conflict matter to your character? Point 3, desire, fear, misbelief. Are you getting value? Oh my God. After now, I'm going to give you a blueprint that you're going to be using to outline your novels like a professional. Like you're going to outline like a boss when I'm done with you in this video. Do you get me? A blueprint that you will keep using to outline novels that is going to give you contract. Once your outline is good, with what I have taught you already in the GIT-WEB masterclass on Telegram, you already know what to do to make your chapters top notch. All right, now let me go to what I wrote down in the middle of my jotter. Let me go there. Now, hope you jotted what I taught you before now. Good. Hope you followed till this point. All right. Now I'm going to show you something. Now look at this Act 1 I wrote down here. Remember the 3-act structure I taught you guys? Act 1 is the setup, right? Good. Now in every story, you don't need to always prove or establish this Act 1, which is the setup. What is the Act 1 all about? Exposition. How will you introduce your protagonist to your world, to the reader? What normal life looks like for your protagonist, how your protagonist views themselves and their world, what motivates your protagonist. Now this is the setup. Act 1. Under the 3-act structure, setup is under Act 1. Now once you have established this thing, most of the times, once a platform says they need fast pace, you don't need to start with this setup. You don't need to start telling us their normal life, how their day-to-day activities is. You're dragging. It's not something that's going to drag your readers into your novel. You need something that's going to be blue punchy, a hook. Do you get me? So what motivates your protagonist? Yes, you can establish this one in your outline so it can guide you through the novel. Now this is the one I love very well. Once you are starting a novel, I'm going to give you an example. Stick to the end. Once you're starting a novel, you've established the hook by establishing the internal conflicts. I hope you're getting me. Their fear, their desire, their misbelief. The next thing that should follow is your inciting incident. When I give an example, you will understand better. Now, your inciting incident is what is the major event that sets the story in motion. That is the inciting. What does it mean for something to be inciting? Inciting incident. That major event that is like, oh my God, this story has been boring. Let's just spice things up. That thing that you call spicing something up. I'm trying to use a layman now to explain this. When you spice things up in a novel, that is the inciting incident. That thing that just give that spark of, now let the drama begin. That is your inciting incident. Do you get me? Remember to establish the opportunity that has been presented to your protagonist. What's at stake if your protagonist rejects this opportunity? Now, remember what I taught you before. Now, I told you now, establish the opportunity that has been presented to this your protagonist. What is at stake if your protagonist rejects this opportunity? And what's at stake if they also accept the opportunity? I bet you see, if you follow this outline I'm giving to you, outline blueprint I am giving to you, you will back contracts consistently, except you don't know how to write the main chapters. But if you follow this outline, oh my God, you come and thank me. Just copy this blueprint and start outlining your novels like a boss. Do you grab? Stop outlining, stop being a pantser. Come out from there and start outlining your novels like a boss. Let's continue. Now I'm going to show you something. Let me just talk about this plot point one, then I will give you an example. Many people want to get an example so you understand this logic better. You're going to understand it better. Let me show you the plot point one. Okay, let me show you the plot point one. Now, for the plot point one, you need to ask yourself, why and how does your protagonist commit to the adventure presented by the inciting incident? Have you remembered to establish what's motivating this decision? How this decision completely changes the direction of your protagonist's path? Now, this is for the act one, which is the setup. Remember, we have setup, act one, which is setup, act two, which is confrontation, and act three, which is what? Resolution. That's the three-act structure. I've taught my students about it in the GIT-WEB masterclass on Telegram. If you want to opt in for it, fine. Do you get me? So this act two now, it is the confrontation. We'll talk about that. Now, this act one, which is set up, can happen maybe the whole of this act one can take place in maybe within 20 chapters. You can stretch it within 20 chapters. Then act two, confrontation, and all the rest. Midpoint. Just we are gonna go into that. I'm gonna dissect it bit by bit for you. Let me give you an example so you understand this better. Now, let me give an example from what I have just explained. For example, the title of my novel is, let me position it very well so you can see. The title of my novel is, let's say, the golden necklace. Now, if you look at this title, the golden necklace, obviously this title is going to tell you that my story is going to revolve around golden necklace. You get, that will be the central theme of the story. Now, once you have discovered the trope in which it falls, you get, obviously this trope can be, first of all, the genre. What genre is this book? I think fantasy. You get fantasy. Then the trope could be magic, let's say mystery. The trope could be histories and all the rest, mystical histories. You get, you mustn't follow those cliche tropes like lovers to haters, secret babies chasing her back if your story is not about that. Do you get me? Be creative. Now, the next thing you want to do is now your character profile. Forgive my handwriting. Character profile. Now, what is a character profile in this sense? Now, your character profile, let's say you pick your protagonist. This is how you're going to outline your novels. What's her name? Forgive me, I'm the only one holding the camera. My tripod is spoiled. I don't know. Can't twist it. Alright, now, what's the name of your protagonist? What's her internal conflict? How does it matter to her? How does it matter to her? I'm going to show you everything. Then the next one is what's her fears, or what's her fear? You can put one fear. What's her fear? That's not fears. Fear. What's her fear? Desire. You get desire and misbelief. I've established this. Now this our internal conflict. I'm going to show you everything when I'm done. This our internal conflict can serve as the hook. You get. And the next thing is our inciting incident. So I think I'm going to explain. This is my story now. Let's say this is my story now. The golden necklace. The first scene. That's the first scene. You can Outline your novel scene by scene. Scene by scene. I think I'm going to make a part 2 of this video because this topic is too long. It's something writers need to understand. You can outline scene by scene before you now split it into chapter by chapter. I would suggest you outline scene by scene before chapter by chapter. Okay, now let's look at this title of this novel, The Golden Necklace. Do you get me? Now, a hook can be something like this. My mom is calling you. She, she wants you to go get the gates, go open the gates. You're late for school. This is the voice of her auntie. Let's say your protagonist's name is Lillian. Her name is Lillian. Do you get me? She is an orphan. Do you get? Her parents died, but before her grandmother died, her grandmother gifted her a present, a box. So on the day she was going to die, she was holding her grandmother's hand. Her grandmother's made a last utterance for her, give some utterances to her that she should go to her room and check her bed for the package, for the gift she has for her. Do you get me? So when she ran to her room to go get the package, she found out that it has been stolen, and the grandmother has already kicked the bucket. She's dead. She now had to start living with her auntie. Remember, she's now an orphan. The only person that was with her was her grandmother, but now her grandmother is dead. But before she died, she gave her a present and told her to cherish it, protect it. Do you get me? Those were the last emotional words from her grandmother. Now she ran inside to go get the let's say to go get the necklace, the box containing the necklace, the golden necklace. Only for her to get there, to reach there, it's been stolen already. Someone has taken it. Good. Now, she lamented, she cried, oh my God, because the grandmother emphasized on make sure you protect this package, this present I give to you. Protect it and go out and take it as your second bestie, as your second life. Do you get me? Good. But now it's missing already, and now she's now living with her auntie that is maltreating her. Now you can see the way I started this first scene. I said, Lillian, my mom is calling you. She wants you to go get the gates. We are late for school. And also my sister is in the toilet. Go clean up her boots. She just peed on herself. She just used the toilet. That is one of the auntie's daughters speaking now. Do you see now? This is a hook that can drive your listeners in, that can drive your readers in. Imagine you're opening the first chapter and someone is snapping at somebody immediately. Will you come on, go and get the gate? Will you come on, go and open the gate? That already sets the tone of that story. Now, what is that going to tell you? You don't need to start establishing, oh, the grandmother died in that first chapter. She told her to go and check her room for the presents. No, you don't need to do all those backstories right now. You don't need to do this backstory right now. Do you get me? First of all, you need to give us that action that is not going to tell your readers, be like, oh, these aunties' children, they are very disrespectful. Some people love disrespectful persons. Some people will start liking those the auntie children because they're adding drama to the story. So now, your readers don't need to think anymore. They'll be like, the first daughter of her auntie is very disrespectful. She's very saucy. She's a character we need to look out for in this novel now. Do you get me? They like how authoritative she is right from the first scene. Now, the poor orphan Lillian goes to go and answer the auntie, receives a slap. That what kept her so long. That has already established. You don't need to start explaining. She was an orphan in that very first chapter. Once upon a time, she was an orphan. She lost her parents. Her auntie was wicked to her. Don't tell us what's wicked to her. Show us a scene that's going to make us use our common sense so that, oh, this auntie wicked. Do you get me? Now, what's the scene I've shown now? The scene that the daughter talked to her in that manner. She came back to answer the auntie, received a slap, and the auntie will now say, "You good for nothing girl, I'm trying to help." After your parents, you're good for nothing, just like your late parents. That alone, you have indirectly established the fact that she's an orphan without actually saying it once upon a time, they leave an orphan. Now, it has come down from the auntie's mouth. That's what we want. That's how to write a story, a chapter. Do you get me? So now it has come out from the auntie's mouth already. The readers will now say, okay, that means this girl is an orphan. Oh my god. I'm beginning to get this story is beginning to get me emotional right now. Do you get me now? Now you continue. When she go to go and answer her auntie, what happens next? The auntie slaps her and said, what kept you so long? Come, will you go and clean my babies or my daughters? That's a junior, the younger sibling, her butt, sorry. So when she actually go and clean the girl up and open the gate for them to go to school, because she after opening the gate, she'll go and prepare her own before she'll be the last person to leave the house, because the auntie actually enrolled her in a public low budget school. I'm coming now. I'm going somewhere now. Remember I told you this internal conflict is what we need. What is your character's fear, desire, misbelief? I'm gonna address that. What's her fear? Her fear is that if now, before this her grandmother gave her that box, do you get me? She has been getting nightmares. She has been getting nightmares. Do you get me? And in her nightmares, she sees her grandmother reminding her to go and look for that missing necklace, that missing box that contained the present. So she keep getting nightmares upon nightmares. Her grandmother be like, have you forgotten the present I gave you? Go and look for it. Make sure you find it. It has a lot of things to do for your life. It has a lot of things, a lot of questions that's going to answer. Do you get me? Something like that. So now with those nightmares she's getting now, we're not going to build her fear, desire, and misbelief from those nightmares. Now, what's going to be her fear now? Her fear is that this girl now, Lillian, let me tell you about this girl, Lillian. She's an orphan, right? Her motivation is that she wants to go to school. She wants to become a medical doctor, even if her parents are late. And her auntie is the one taking care of her. Her auntie is maltreating her, being cruel to her. That maltreatment alone will make your readers begin to care for her. Good. So her auntie is maltreating her, being cruel to her and all the rest. But she's still there serving the auntie because of her education. Yes, they put her in a low budget public school, but she knows that if she endures this maltreatment and keep on, so that she can complete her education in this public school her auntie put her, finish, and maybe become something good. But if she's put stubborn now and begin to disrespect her auntie, obviously the auntie is going to throw her out of the house. Her fear at that point was losing her education and becoming a dropout. That was her fear. So she decided to overlook whatever thing her auntie is doing, even if it's paining her. Her fear is that she wants to become her fear is that she doesn't want to lose her education, just the same way she lose her parents. Her education is so vital for her. She believes with her education she can make money, get a good life, and all the rest. Do you get me now? The readers are beginning to like her. They're beginning to care for her. They're beginning to stick to your novel. Good. Now, what's her desire? Her desire is for her to go and find that necklace, that pot, that present that her grandmother told her to left for her. Her grandmother told her, cherish that pot. Now, her desire is that she wants to go and look for it. She wants to go and look for that pot. Now, her desire is that she wants to go and look for that pot. Forgive my handwriting. Her desire is that she wants to go and look for that pot that contains the golden necklace that has some answers to her question, just like her grandmother claims. But meanwhile, how do you establish this her desire now? Through maybe when she soliloquize to herself, when she talk to herself, when she cries, maybe whenever the auntie maltreats her, she just go on in a secluded place and just be crying, thinking about her life, feeling so disappointed that she wasn't able to meet up and make the grandmother proud. Obviously, she disappointed the grandmother by allowing the golden pot that contained the golden necklace to get missing. The grandmother said, "Cherish it. Don't allow it to get missing." So she's feeling disappointed, and her desire for her to go out and look for it. But now, her fear is that if she go out, her auntie will not pay her school fees again. Her education will be cut short. Do you get me? That is where stakes come in. She has to forfeit something. She wants to go and find herself, her true identity, find some things that her grandmother said that necklace contains those things, but now it's stolen. And now her wicked auntie will not allow her to leave the house. Where is she going? Now the fear of losing her education will make her stay. She's confused, but on the second thought, the nightmares also is making her to go and start thinking, oh, I need to get up and go and look for this necklace. But how will she do it? That is where the inciting incident comes in. That's going to push it. That's going to push her to take that decision, to forfeit one of them, either her education or something. I'm just giving you this example so you start outlining your novels like this with this mindset. This is what I call outlining like a boss. I know the cap. I've been using this. This is what I'm currently using. This is the outline I'm currently using all my 30 novels I plan to plot at once. When you're plotting your novels, scene by scene, then you plot your novels scene by scene. When I mean write outlines, I do not mean you should write outlines, exposition, inciting incidents, climax, denouement, and all of them. No. When I mean write a full outline, I mean you should write your chapter by chapter outline that's going to happen from chapter 1 to chapter 100. And how can you achieve that? If you are outlining with the mindset of chapter by chapter, you're going to get drained. Outline with this mindset. Let me show you how to outline. Outline with this mindset. Scene 1, this is what is going to happen. Scene 2, this is what is going to happen. Scene 2, scene 3, this is what is going to happen. Scene 4, this is what is going to happen. It will be very nice if you have a jotter. You will just enjoy outlining. You just off your phone and allow your creativity to just pour on your jotter. Come and thank me later. Off your phone, switch off your phone, go out from WhatsApp, keep your phone and watch yourself become creative in your jotter. Once you just sit down, the golden necklace, you've gotten the title, start brainstorming ideas. Just be writing. This is your messy first draft. It doesn't need to matter yet. Keep writing. Scene 1, so thing will happen. Then later on you can now say, okay, scene 1 to scene 3, chapter 1. Are you getting something? Scene 4 to scene 6 to scene, I'm saying scene, forgive me please. Scene 4 to scene 6, chapter 2. Do you get me? Like that, you're done with your outlining. And quote me anyway, if you do it like this, oh my god, you just need to check your notebook like this, and you have rushed to your Google Docs to go and write the chapter for that day. You will not run out of ideas because you have already written all the scenes that's going to happen in that novel before you even start writing the novel. Write the outline scene by scene. Do you get me? So now, is this inciting incident that is now going to make her this inciting incident is now going to make her do what? Bring her out of her comfort zone. Do you get me? It is this inciting incident that's now going to bring her out from her comfort zone. Do you get me? So you should not joke with it. Now, what is the inciting incident? Let me show you. Let us flash our mind back to what we said is the inciting incident. Hope you still have our story in your mind. The golden necklace. Now look at the inciting incident. Establish the opportunity that has been presented to your protagonist. The nightmare is telling her, see, Lillian, better stand up and go and look for this golden necklace your grandmother gave to you. Opportunity. What's at stake if the protagonist rejects the opportunity? Now, let's say the auntie traveled She now has the opportunity to go and look for the necklace. Now, if she go out of the house, the children will tell the mother. Obviously, her education thwarted, cut short. Do you get? But and if she also rejects the opportunity to go and look for her mother, she will not find her identity. She will still be in the dark. What's at stake? Her peace of mind is also at stake. She'll keep getting nightmares. What's at stake if she accepts the opportunity? She's going to lose her education. Are you getting me? See, I still have plot 1 at 2 to teach, which is confrontation. I still have midpoint. I still have resolution. And I'm going to only teach this in my GIT-WEB masterclass on Telegram. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss. I think I'm going to post this on YouTube. I'm going to post this video on YouTube, then continue the rest of the video on my GIT-WEB masterclass. So if you're getting value already, just what you need to do now, rush to my bio on YouTube. You see the seller link that contains the GIT-WEB masterclass. You see the GIT-WEB masterclass. Just click on it, register, and join immediately. Join the Telegram group and catch up with us. Wherever you're watching from, just join and catch up with us immediately. I'm going to be teaching you everything outlining, everything writing. You don't want to miss. Go and check out my channel. Videos there are mind-blowing. You don't want to miss. I'm going to break it down for you that you look at yourself and be like, wow. Opting for my training because the part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, because this video is going to get to part 4. I'm taking my time to explain it. I will explain it like that in only the Telegram group. I won't post it on my channel again. Do you get? This is only the one I'm going to post on my channel. Other ones, as I explain, I give examples. That's how I teach. Good. So if you want to opt in, this is not only the thing you'll be learning in Telegram group. Other things we have done, hook, other things you'll be learning. So if I were you, I will opt in immediately. Do not play. Do not joke on this opportunity. If you feel you want to go with this half knowledge you already gotten, fine. If you want to go further, oh my God, opt in immediately. As for my students, kudos to them because they're going to be getting more and more and more and more of this. Do you see what you're missing? I'm sorry, but you have to miss it, okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe. Now, if you want to join the family, you're free. If you don't want to join the family, even after getting this value, oh my gosh, you have a problem. See you when I see you again. Bye.